Every cruise line has its rules, but not all of them make it into the brochure. You'll hear about dress codes, safety drills, and pool hours, but the real guidebook is unwritten. It's a quiet set of rules passengers break every day without realizing they've done it. And though the crew won't call you out, they see everything. Some laugh, some sigh, and some just shake their heads, knowing it's all part of life at sea. It starts the moment you board. You think your stateroom's ready when you arrive, but technically, you're not supposed to go in until the all-clear announcement. The cleaning crew works in precise rotations, racing against the clock. Every early passenger who drops their bags before the official start time throws off that balance. No one tells you it's a rule. They just smile politely and keep working faster. The next one hides in plain sight, the buffet line. You've probably walked it 100 times, unaware of the quiet choreography unfolding around you. Each side has a direction, but most passengers wander across both, bumping into each other, holding tongs over food while chatting. Crew call it the dance of chaos. The rule? Always move with the flow, and never reach backward. It's not written anywhere, but every veteran cruiser knows it. Elevators have their own unspoken code. Crew use the middle car for quick transfers between decks, supplies, laundry, meal trays, but passengers often crowd in, blocking their path. The sign that says "Service Elevator" isn't decoration. It's a boundary. Still, when the doors open, someone always steps inside, selfie-ready, unaware they've entered the ship's artery. Even noise has rules. After midnight, passenger decks are meant to stay quiet, not just for sleep, but for safety. Crew move through the corridors at night, listening for unusual sounds, dripping pipes, alarms, or distress calls. Loud music, running kids, or slamming doors mask those signals. You're not breaking a written law. You're just interrupting the ship's sixth sense. Another invisible rule: don't prop your balcony door open. The breeze feels incredible, sure, but the moment you do, the air conditioning system fights back. It triggers pressure changes throughout the corridor, forcing other cabins to compensate. Crew call it the butterfly effect. Your one open door can knock the temperature off balance for an entire section. Maintenance logs spike, and the next morning someone asks why their room felt like the Arctic. Then there's the secret about power strips and plug converters. Officially, most are banned. Not because cruise lines want to annoy you, but because sparks on steel don't end well. Yet every voyage, crew confiscate a small mountain of them. They don't lecture, they just label, store, and return them at disembarkation. To the crew, it's a small victory. One less fire waiting to happen. You won't find these rules printed on any ticket. They live in whispers, habits, and quiet corrections. They keep the ship running, and they're broken every single day. Another rule that quietly gets broken lives right in front of your cabin door. The hallway may look like your personal space, but it isn't. Crew call it the highway, and it's meant to stay clear at all times. Passengers love leaving shoes, trays, or strollers outside, not realizing they've just created an obstacle course for housekeeping carts and emergency equipment. One spill, one trip, and it turns into a hazard the safety team has to log. That's why, on some ships, crew patrol the corridors before dawn, silently collecting whatever's left behind like ghosts, tidying up a dream. Then there's the laundry. Guests think self-service laundry rooms are safe zones, but they come with a code of conduct no one ever explains. Never leave clothes unattended. Never touch someone else's load, even if it's been sitting for hours. Crew don't enforce this one. Passengers do, and it gets territorial fast. Fights have started over detergent, timers, even fabric softener sheets. Some crew say the laundry room has more drama than the casino. Speaking of casinos, there's a rule there too. One guests never notice until they break it. You're not supposed to take drinks onto the gaming tables without coasters. The reason isn't etiquette, it's electricity. The slot machines are sensitive, and one spilled cocktail can short a circuit or cost thousands to repair. But passengers stroll in with rum runners or plastic cups from the bar, unaware that security cameras watch every drop. On the open deck, the rule is simpler but almost universally ignored. Don't throw anything overboard. Everyone knows it's illegal, but few realize how dangerous it is. A single napkin can clog drainage pipes. A plastic cup can get sucked into the ventilation system, and sometimes even confetti from celebrations ends up costing hours of cleanup. Crew call it the floating guilt, litter that circles back and sticks to the ship's hull days later, as if reminding everyone who started it. Inside your cabin, there's another invisible line. Most passengers adjust the thermostat without thinking twice, not realizing it's part of a shared central system. Crank it too high or too low, and the neighboring cabins compensate automatically. Crew engineers get alerts every time someone pushes it beyond range, but they rarely say anything. They simply reset it from below deck. We fix comfort without confrontation. One maintenance worker once said, "They think the system learns. Really, it's us." And then there's the rule about knocking, one most people don't even know exists. If you call for service, you're expected to be dressed when the steward arrives. It's not a written policy, but it's burned into every crew member's memory. Too many times, they've opened doors to surprises no one asked for. They handle it with humor, professionalism, and a story they'll tell at dinner later. But behind every polite knock is a silent prayer. Please, be ready. It's not judgment, it's survival wrapped in grace. The art of keeping calm while passengers unknowingly break rules that hold the floating city together. Even pool etiquette hides a rule everyone breaks. The moment the pool closed for cleaning sign goes up, someone slips in anyway, usually claiming they just dipped a foot. What most passengers don't realize is that the filtration system runs on a timed chemical cycle. Interrupt it, and the sensors reset, delaying reopening for hours. Crew call it the ripple effect. One quick splash, and the entire schedule sinks. The theater has its own secret code, too. Ushers dim lights to cue silence, yet phones always glow halfway through the opening act. Photos, flash, whispers, all forbidden, but never fully enforced. Performers see the lights, feel the distraction, but they carry on. Crew stationed at the back exchange knowing glances. It's not malice, it's forgetfulness magnified by champagne. The unspoken rule? Respect the illusion. Once the curtain rises, your world stops. Theirs begins. Food waste is another silent violation. Buffet etiquette says, take what you'll eat, not what looks best for photos. But every night, trays return half full. Crew scrape, rinse, and start again, careful not to show frustration. Waste at sea isn't like waste on land. Every extra pound means more fuel burned, more energy used. The invisible rule: your leftovers travel farther than you think. In ports, passengers often break customs without knowing it. Some pocket shells, sand, or small stones from beaches, unaware that collecting natural materials is banned in several destinations. Others snap photos of port workers, guards, or local vendors who prefer privacy. The ship can't police the shore, but it logs complaints from port authorities quietly. Crew receive briefings before each stop, listing which behaviors sparked warnings the last time. The same mistakes return like tides. Smoking rules create the most tension. Every cruise line posts designated area-only signs, yet late at night, balconies turn into hidden ashtrays. Smoke drifts into ventilation shafts, setting off detectors miles away in engineering. The alarms are coded numbers, not words, but everyone below deck knows what they mean. Engineers rush to trace the source, sometimes knocking on doors at 2 a.m. The guest always insists, "It wasn't me." The rule isn't about control, it's about oxygen, wiring, and survival. Even kindness can bend a rule. Passengers try to tip crew members directly during restricted times, especially when gratuities are pooled. The gesture means everything, but it can cause disciplinary issues. Crew thank them, decline politely, then slip notes of appreciation into their pockets later anyway. Gratitude finds its way, even through red tape. Every rule on a ship is written in experience. Each was born from an accident, a misunderstanding, or a moment someone thought, "That won't matter." Crew know better. They've seen how one small rule, broken once, can echo through the entire vessel. And they keep smiling, because teaching without telling is the quiet art of seamanship. By the end of every voyage, the list of broken rules tells its own story. None of them are criminal, but together they show how fragile order is on a ship that carries thousands of strangers. What holds everything together isn't policy. It's people who've learned to smooth out the chaos quietly, before anyone notices. Crew laugh about it when the voyage ends. 10 hidden rules, they'll say, and 10,000 chances to break them. Yet they never sound angry. For them, each infraction is part of the rhythm. Passengers rushing into cabins too early, kids sprinting through corridors, balcony doors slamming in the wind. They fix, adjust, and reset again and again until the illusion of perfection returns. That's the art of hospitality at sea, repairing without revealing, teaching without speaking. When the last night comes, the rule-breaking slows. People soften. They linger on the deck longer, staring at the horizon. Quieter now. The buffet is calmer, the corridors cleaner, the voices lower. Something shifts when passengers realize the journey's almost over. Maybe it's guilt, or gratitude, or just the sea reminding everyone how small they are out here. Crew feel it too, that shared stillness before the lights of the next port appear. Below deck, they gather for their own small ritual. It's past midnight, the work done for now. In the crew mess, laughter replaces exhaustion for a few minutes. Someone tells a story about the guest who tried to iron a swimsuit. Another about the man who demanded a refund because the ocean was too blue. They laugh because humor is armor. But under the laughter, there's pride. The ship made it. The guests are safe. The unseen rules held. Most of these rules exist to protect passengers from themselves. Don't lean over rails. Don't run near stairs. Don't block fire doors with luggage. But some are subtler, rules that preserve the invisible balance of the ship's ecosystem. The temperature of the cabins, the timing of the waste systems, the silence that engineers listen for at 3 a.m. when only the engines and the ocean are speaking. Break one small rhythm, and the ship feels it like a heartbeat skipping a beat. Yet here's the truth every crew member knows. Most passengers don't mean to break the rules. They simply don't know they're part of something bigger. On land, a mistake is personal. At sea, it ripples through steel and water. That's why the crew watch quietly, correcting with smiles instead of scolding. They know that the sea humbles everyone eventually. When you disembark and look back at the ship from the pier, you'll see perfection. Towering decks, shining railings, flags catching the wind. What you won't see is the choreography beneath it. Thousands of tiny corrections. A living system run by people who never stop adapting. That's the hidden grace of cruising. The ship teaches patience without a lecture, discipline without a rule book. So next time you sail, remember the invisible rule book. Move with the flow. Close your balcony door. Listen to the quiet after midnight. Respect the rhythm that keeps the ocean kind to you. Because somewhere below deck, a crew member is keeping watch, making sure the story ends well for everyone. You've been watching Cruise Threads, where the real stories sail below deck. Subscribe, because the next secret is already on the horizon.